Hi everyone, my name is Nathan, and here I am back again, ready to give a little demonstration speech here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build on our video that I posted last week on how to do preventative maintenance on washers and dryers. And we'll specifically focus on the washer, as is the one that is probably the most important to a family. You can always hang clothes up to dry, but it really is difficult and complicated to wash clothes without a washing machine these days, because it's not like many people are going to go out to a river and beat a rock. Now, I am a service technician for Sears, part of the Sears in-home service division, A&E factory service. And so what I'm going to do today is walk you through this. Now, I do this on a daily basis every day for washers, dryers, refrigerators, and other appliances. So I'm just going to walk you through the process. Saves you a little time, a little money, and it'll really help extend the life of your appliance. So don't mind me as I swap my lens and stuff around here to. Okay, so here specifically you have the Kenmore washer. Now this is a Whirlpool model. Okay, so the first thing you want to do with any model of washer, especially more specifically front loaders, is you want to ensure inside that your basket spins freely by hand. Okay, you just want to give it a good spin and make sure it moves freely. All right, now you also want to check by holding down here at the bottom. You want to try to see if you can wiggle that basket, if it moves or if you push and you feel any clicking. Now what that would indicate is that you have a faulty bearing. Now this is a very costly repair that costs you well over $1,000. So you don't want to call out a service man just for him to charge you to tell you, hey, you need a new machine, unless you plan to, So you want to take a look inside and you want to ensure that your little vanes here are in place too, because without these, if for any reason you lose all of these or even some of them, you'll find that your clothes don't actually tumble, they just slide around on the bottom of the tub. Without tumbling the clothes, you're not getting any cleaning action, okay? You want to take a look at your door lock and ensure that the buttons press and bounce back. Now some door locks are different models depending what you have, right? You want to check and make sure there's no obstruction on the inside, okay? There's nothing in there. And you want to ensure that your door shuts and seals firmly, okay? Now after that, you want to open up and you can take a look inside your boot, and what specifically you're going to look for is damage inside of it. Now I'm going to let you know a little key hint. Mine is super clean because this is brand new and not even been used once in a wash. I changed it out before we did the class, or before I did this speech, okay? So another thing you want to do is you can see here it has a wire here. You want to make sure that's still in place because it's going to hold your door boot in place, okay? So you can shut that, you can let it seal. You want to test your buttons too, so you want to turn your dials and ensure that all your lights light up. That it powers off, powers on. Select through your different features. Go to a certain cycle where you can use all your functions, second rinse. Okay. You just want to make sure everything works like it's supposed to. You want to slide out your dispenser cup, and most of them will have some water standing in it every day. That is fine after wash if you come back and all the water siphoned out, which you would be concerned about if you see soap or fabric softener or something like that. But if there's still just water inside there, perfectly natural, there's nothing to be concerned about. So most of them have a small button here or in the center or somewhere you can press and pull out your dispenser. So some people are a little more concerned than others, but you'll be able to take apart your dispenser, and you can see I got a little bit of a build up in there myself. And you can clean your dispenser, and the same thing with the inside of your dispenser. Now what this stuff is, it's just moisture, condensation, dirt, soap, things like that. You can wash all that stuff away. It's not going to hurt the functionality of the machine, but it can cause the increase in we'll call it a smell. A nice odor, okay? So another thing you want to do is periodically, almost all washers have these. Mine has a kick plate, but most washers nowadays have a small built-in in the bottom left-hand side. You pop it open and there's a little hose to dump out the water. What you want to do is dump out the water, and then you want to undo your filter housing. Now what it is a housing filter for your pump to prevent stuff like pennies, nickels, bobby pins, things like that from getting inside. Then you just want to pull it open. You're probably going to have some stuff here. It looks like there's some paper and stuff that slipped through people's pockets. And I did preemptively open this, so I did pull out some quarters, pennies, and a couple of bobby pins. And I see that all the time. You want to make sure once you're done, though, that you firmly and ensure you seat it all the way back to where it goes, because it has a gasket on there, and you want to be sure that seals so it doesn't leak. All right, you specifically want to look underneath your appliance, and you want to ensure that there's no water inside. Now what this will tell you is what you're looking for is an indication of rust or anything like that, because that's an indication that there's a water leak or something. But as you can see inside mine, there's no rust. There is some water stains that can be from moisture and things like that, or if this unit at one previously time had a leak before. Okay, so you just want to take a look at that. You want to look at all your hoses and ensure there are no holes or anything like that inside, just by giving them a good feel. Okay, so when you do open up this this trap here, you will get about somewhere, depending on the models, 4 to 8 cups of water in the bottom. There's nothing to be alarmed about. It's completely normal. The way a machine's designed to work is as the tub fills and you're done washing everything and it drains, it's actually a very small pump motor, as you can see right here. And all it does is it creates a backwards flow or a siphon. Okay, so what that does is it's the weight of the water that pushes the water out the drain hose. Now, when it gets to the last 48 cups, it just doesn't have that oomph to push the rest of the way out the hose. So you always have about 4 to 8 cups of water in your machine at all times, okay? So I do suggest is you definitely drain this if you're planning to go on some type of extended vacation that would leave your machine with that water sitting there for weeks at a time, which can lead to some mildew and mold buildup, which can leave a very unfriendly smell in your machine. All right, so almost all machines then have a test mode to run. Now, every machine is different and specific, and you can look up your model numbers and look them up online to figure out what your diagnostic test mode is. So for mine, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're now in diagnostic test mode. So what we're going to do from here is it's going to cycle some self-test on its own, and then we're going to run it through what I call the self-diagnostic. So basically it runs the entire functionality of the machine in somewhere to 1 to 2 minutes, and it tests all the individual functions. So the first one hit, it locks the door. Okay. It's going to take a second. All right. It locks, unlocks, relocks the door. It's going to fill with water now, and it's going to fill through your different valves. So you can see here you have 2 solenoids. One's a hot and a cold water. Now some of the newer top-load washers, you will find you have multiple solenoids. So what you're looking for here is you want to check your hoses. You need to make sure when the water's flowing you don't have any leaks. You also check the top of the water valves, because when the water valves fail, a lot of times they puddle up top. Now please, mind you, when you do any of this maintenance, if you're not a trained professional, I would always suggest that if you're doing anything where you stick your hands far enough underneath the cabinet and you're not running the test, that you should disconnect power. There can be an electrical hazard involved, okay? So you want to check all your hoses and just ensure that, you're not finding anything dry rotted or anything, all right? Make sure there's not a lot of buildup on the top of this. That indicates you're using too much bleach or soap. Is a good indication here in your dispenser motor, all right? You want to check over here. This is your pressure sensor. This is what dictates the water level inside your machine. If this isn't here, this thing will just continue to fill all the way to the top. All right, you want to check your wire connections, your wire harnesses, and just ensure everything's nice and plugged in, securely fastened. All right, so then you're going to let it run through its test cycle. And what it's going to do now is it's filling the machine. Once it fills the machine, it's going to tumble, then it's going to drain, and then it's going to go into a high-speed spin. Now, more specifically for machines on a high-speed spin, what you want to do is you want to listen. If it sounds like a helicopter. A lot of people say helicopter. You get that's your bearing going out. It's a very apparent sound, along with the wiggling of the tub to tell you if you have any problems. So once that's all complete, you can just put your machine back together. Essentially, that is the PM check on a washer. And most specifically, you just want to continue to look for water as it's run through its test cycle. And if it runs through no problems, your machine's good to go. If you do have any concerns, I always recommend that you speak to your local technician unless you find yourself really handy. And if that's the case, you can find anything on YouTube. So hopefully, sorry I didn't have more time to go over other appliances, but I knew this would take quite a bit of time. So hope you guys have a great one, and bye.